You know, I really didn't want to make a video about this. Really didn't. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to be talking about Star Wars. So, this new TV show, The Acolyte, is causing a lot of online discourse. Like, it's getting to the point where, I mean, I don't quite understand, like, why you would try to chase away your audience when it comes down to movies and TV shows and what have you. You can create new stuff for it, and you can bring in all of these characters that look different and whatever, but the storytelling's got to be good, and you've got to understand that if a franchise has been around for a long time, it's going to have a built-in audience. So let's talk about Star Wars from a historical standpoint. You know, from when it came out in 1977, it just blew the mind of so many people. Like, it was my parents' date night. They loved the original Star Wars trilogy. You know, I came around, saw Return of the Jedi. I was too young to remember, but I, you know, grew up in a household that already loved Star Wars. My mother adored Harrison Ford, so in turn, she loved Han Solo. And, you know, I grew up, you know, in the 90s, getting attached to the Thrawn trilogy, enjoying Shadows of the Empire. I mean, love Shadows of the Empire. And which got me excited to see the special editions released theatrically, and then in turn, the prequels. And the prequels were, they were okay. It was nice seeing the progression that what led to the original trilogy, but it complemented it. Liked the Clone Wars cartoon, but after that, I wasn't really like getting every single video game or collecting every action figure. I'm a Transformers guy. But Star Wars, I kind of enjoyed, you know, little bits here and there. And so when Disney bought them back in 2012, you know, I was excited to see what The Force Awakens would bring, right? And unfortunately, they killed Han Solo, which killed my mother's excitement for any future Star Wars films. She refused to see anything else Star Wars. Because she said, I will not see Solo because they don't even have Harrison Ford in it. That was my mother's reaction. So, I remember when the Last Jedi came out. And but right before it came out, you know, I was, as much as The Force Awakens was a rehash of Episode 4, as it's now known, which was the original Star Wars movie, it was still a movie that kind of felt like, okay, you're bringing us into it. I hate the fact you killed Han Solo, but I want to see where they go. I'm hoping Luke could be the hero that kind of brings everybody together, and we can get all these older heroes, newer heroes, and move the story forward. And then Luke throws the lightsaber over his shoulder, and the rest of the movie went downhill from there. And I could not bring myself to even see The Rise of Skywalker in theaters. I did not see Solo. I ended up seeing Rise of Skywalker otherwise. And from there, any other bit of Star Wars that like I tried to consume in any way was like, you had the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, which were good, but they were okay. Like, they kind of like, this was a taste of what Star Wars could have been, right? But I kind of was already checked out when Luke threw that lightsaber over his shoulder. It kind of like, it was like a reaction where I had to kind of take myself back and say, am I really seeing what I'm seeing here? I don't know. I don't know if I can really like keep on going with Star Wars. And for myself, you look at what is being said by those in charge. Well, quite frankly here, this is what's saying here. Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy says women in Star Wars struggle due to male-dominated fandom. And I sit there and I think to myself, I'm like, is this really a problem? Or is it a problem that you are trying to change who watches Star Wars and you're struggling with the fact that those who you're trying to court aren't into it, so you're blaming the people who still like what Star Wars is or should be, right? I mean, that's basically the gist of it here. I mean, I'm not going to get into the article any further, but just the headline itself is just enough to make you sit there and scratch your head and go, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is that space battles and, you know, lightsabers battling and all that kind of stuff is just kind of something that males gravitate towards. You know, the drama and the opera stuff, that's more stuff that females tend to be gravitated towards. It's just a fact of just who likes what. You know, I take a look at my kids, and as much as each of them have their own set of toys, they gravitate towards their own type of toys, and they play with toys differently. It's just a fact of life, you know? But there are going to be people who, I mean, girls could like Star Wars, and boys could like other things that girls like too. Like, it's not exclusive. But what they like is quite literally they like what it already is. So if girls like Star Wars, it's because girls like what Star Wars already is based on what's already been created, right? And so that's usually what you see when you see females in the fandom. And to be quite honest with you, like us old head nerds, we'd be more than welcoming for every single female that wants to get involved and enjoy what we enjoy. They want us to enjoy what they enjoy. It's just the way things work. So here what's happening is that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to literally morph the audience. Literally turn all of the audience to just to be made for females by making all of the main characters be female, make the male characters look terrible by comparison, you know, turn the heroes into, they're actually really the villains, turn the villains, you know, characters that would classically be considered villains to be, they're the oppressed. And you just sit there and you scratch your head and you go, how do you make TV shows and movies this badly? And it's not only that, even if it has all of this messaging in it, is the stories good? Are they consistent? And since it's set in the Star Wars universe, does it work within the Star Wars universe as a whole? And once it starts breaking canon and starts breaking lore, little things that longtime fans have been around for a long time and care about, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care that a Jedi that showed up in episode 1 when his birthday was. I really don't. Like, I'm just being honest, I don't care about that. Like, I would care if it was a Transformers character, but I'm not that as involved or invested in Star Wars to care about a smaller detail like that. But I do care if it breaks some of the canon for what's already been established, and I don't like when it ends up breaking the universe that's already been created, you know? And sometimes these retcons just don't work, you know? And this is the case here. From what a lot of people are saying with this Acolyte TV show is that the show isn't good. It's just a badly written TV show. You can feel for the actors. You know, the one Jedi is the same actor from Squid Game, which he's a great actor, you know, and I would love to see him in other projects outside of Star Wars. You know, the fact that he actually learned English is a wonderful feat. But then you have the main character of the show, who apparently is playing a twin, you know, so it's it's basically two characters that she's playing, and she starts attacking people. And it's like, guys, if this is how you're going to act and you're going to behave, you're going to end up attacking the fandom. Eventually what's going to end up happening is what's already happening, is that people are saying, you know what, I'm just not going to get invested in Star Wars. Now, as I said, I was already out of Star Wars a while ago. You know what I mean? Like, I was already out. And you may enjoy this. Like, if you enjoyed The Acolyte, I mean, more power to you. But a lot of people really don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. And it can, some people are just, I can't believe it's that bad, so I'll check it out. Oh my gosh, it's that bad. Like, that's literally been the reaction been so far. A lot of people are watching it just to see how bad it really is, finding out that they don't like it, complaining that it's bad, and then being called every name in the book because they don't like it. And I'm saying, if the show's bad, don't watch it. Right? Like, if the movie's bad, don't watch it. Make them feel it in their bank account. And, you know, it may be time, really, honestly, for Star Wars fans to let the franchise go. If more people just kind of went, you know something, I really enjoyed Star Wars up till this point. I took a step back and I'll go and enjoy something else. It might be for the best. But the thing is that the only way that Star Wars is ever going to grow is that once they see that they have pushed audiences away that much and that they're enjoying something else, that the franchise dies, could it come back with something better? And to be quite honest with you, I wonder if it has to do with the top brass, with folks like Kathleen Kennedy, who actually says she wants the original fandom to go away. You know, the male-dominated fandom. She wants the male-dominated fandom to go away. So if that's the case, if she wants us gone, then we're gone. We'll go enjoy something else. I enjoy Transformers, and one thing about Transformers is that it reboots itself a lot, which kind of hurts the franchise in some way, because it might not necessarily captivate newer audiences because it constantly reboots. It doesn't have this constant lore. It's a constant refreshing, which I wish it had more, stringent lore over the course of decades. But there's something for every single Transformers fan out there. I wonder if the next space opera adventure can come out and be the next Star Wars, maybe the next Star Trek. That's why people like the Orville, right? With Star Trek, people don't like Star Trek, so they're watching Orville, and they enjoy it. And it's made by people who make fun of everything. It's got Seth MacFarlane making fun of everything. And I think that that's what we need, is not just from Star Wars. These long-running IPs are going to go through a lot of changes in the next few years. It may not be for the best. A lot of people have turned their back on it. So this is where the creative people have to get up and say, you know what? I'm not going to sit there and wallow about the fact that what I loved is being destroyed by people who actually actively hate it and actually hate the people who normally would enjoy it. Instead, let's create new stuff. Let's make video games that are awesome. Let's make TV shows that are awesome. Let's make video game or movies that are awesome. And you say, well, right here, you're seeing this on this screen here, why film and TV workers are leaving Los Angeles. That's Hollywood for you right there. That's what we need, is we need creative people who can make good stories. If you want to tell a Western, tell a Western. You want to do a space opera, do a space opera. You want to do a romantic comedy, make a romantic comedy. Make these type of movies and TV shows that are good, that people really love. Make a new studio or whatever. Launch a new platform where these things could be. You got places like Tubi and stuff like that. Like, that's where, or Netflix. Netflix starts demanding stuff that people may not like, but you understand where I'm saying is that, like, the only way to counter the stuff that's pushing away its audiences is to create new IPs and franchises that people can get attached to and can show up at Comic-Cons and conventions and end up being the next big thing. Because these long-running franchises just basically suffocate the new stuff. If we put the old stuff behind and start making new stuff, maybe that might be a little bit better. And so with that said, as someone who enjoyed the older Star Wars movies, I'll always enjoy the original 6 movies. The first, episode 1 and 2 may not be the best movies. Episode 3, loved the lightsaber battles toward the end and how it ended up connecting. The original trilogy is gold, but I really can't enjoy the stuff that Disney's making as far as Star Wars is concerned. And, they've already now basically stated here, they don't want me to enjoy it. So if I'm not supposed to enjoy it, then I won't. And I won't get upset about it. I feel an apathy towards it. They can make a really good Star Wars this time next year. And honestly, I wouldn't check it out. Because they've already made this and they've already made this statement. So they've already pushed me away. And I no longer care. But you might still care. You might still love Star Wars. You might actually like Acolyte, and that's fine. I say you're still welcome to comment and agree or disagree and what have you, but I've long been checked out of Star Wars. And I really feel for those who are still checked in and are really hating this. I wonder what you guys think about this. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I've got many more videos like this coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.